Now going over to the business blunder of the day, you have a Home Depot Ridgid nail gun while it's being recalled. Now this is brought to us thanks to the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission, perhaps the only useful government website, though it's a pretty low bar. And they say, quote, TTI Consumer Power Tools recalled Ridgid framing nailers due to laceration hazard. Now, for those who don't know, TTI, they make nearly every tool you see out there. Not just Ridgid, but also Ryobi, also Milwaukee. There are a lot. It's basically almost a duopoly. There's a couple, but it's basically TTI versus Stanley Black & Decker. That's an overwhelming majority of the market. You have some obviously boutique lines like Makita and Bosch, but in terms of market share, those are the two big companies. And spoiler, TTI, but to me, I say Home Depot because this is an exclusive brand for the Home Depot. And I can't but think, not a coincidence, it's also, the Home Depot orange color, but I partially digress. Now, this is the Ridgid 18-volt, 21-degree framing nailers, and it came with the Ridgid 18-volt brushless 30-degree battery, and is the 30-degree angle as well. Now, the issue is, they say, quote, the dual action engagement system on the nailers can malfunction and involuntarily discharge a nail by pulling the trigger alone, posing a laceration hazard to consumers. They say the nailer, which this is common sense if you ever use one of these, but it's an instance where you see the orange tip on that. It's a safety mechanism in which this is only supposed to be able to shoot if you physically depress the nail gun into the actual wood and that orange tip is pushed back. It's kind of like the safety on a Glock where you have that little extra trigger on the trigger, a little safety in the middle of the trigger. You have to push that in order for the actual trigger to be able to pull. In this case, this is not going to make OSHA happy, but yeah, in this case, whoops, that safety doesn't work, so you just pull the trigger, the nails will shoot, which, again, not advice, but I can't but also think every kid's dream in terms of having a nail gun fight, which, again, you should never do. But yeah, let's just say every guy's actually, I can't but think also every guy is actually, disabled that just to shoot a nail a couple times at some drywall to see what would happen. Spoiler alert, it's kind of a little boring, but yeah, it's not great. And this affects 64,000 units in addition to 6,575 that were sold in Canada, which I always purposely mispronounce as a slight to that totalitarian country. Now, they say that consumers should immediately stop using the recalled nailers and visit powertools.ridgid/recall to determine if their nailer was included in the recall and for instructions on how to obtain a free repair. TTI Consumer Tools will send a prepaid label to the consumer to return the nailer. The software in the nailer will be updated, and then the nailer will be shipped back to the consumer, which, yeah, Lord knows I'm not a fan of all these fancy electronics and tools these days. But in theory, it should be quick software updates, so maybe it won't be too quick to actually get these turned around. Now, of course, these were sold at Home Depot, as well as direct factory tools nationwide, homedepot.com, and direct tools outlet, July 2021 through May 2021, for between $329 and $389. And spoiler, of course, they're manufactured in China, in terms of country of origin. Now, the upside of the situation, or this recall, is that they did get ahead of the situation. There's been no reported injuries or people passing away because of this defect. And again, it sounds like, it's a pain to, ship them out. They're going to pay a pretty penny to ship those heavy things. But yeah, it's going to suck because, again, a lot of people who are buying these are prosumers and, also craftsmen or, real craftsmen, not the brand from Sears back in the day, which is still a Lowe's exclusive now. But nevertheless, it's an instance where a lot of people use these and they rely on them to actually make a living. And so I got to say Home Depot, because again, this is your big brand. I got to say you and as well as Ridgid are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and comments. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.